heard that the insurance were very high, up to 25 for boys, right? 25 years old.
Yeah,
you pay more insurance than girls.
Really?
The insurance tend to be higher on the boy versus girls because you guys are dangerous.
Yeah, it's how they rate. It's how they rate the sexes, so to speak. And so males are.
I never knew. You didn't know?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, newsflash: you have twins, right? One will have a cheaper.
I told them they're gonna share a car.
Right?
They're gonna share a car.
But just know the insurance will be very high.
That weighted insurance, right?
Hey guys, welcome to Let's Keep It Real Now. I am your host, Danielle Bilumbu with DBK Real Estate. I am here with my co-host,
Abu Jabi with AMP Lending. How y'all doing today?
Great. So we have a special guest today. Some of you already know him because we did a special for Christmas. Make sure you go back to that video for special for Christmas so you can learn more about his business. I am here with Jared Richard.
Hey guys,
he's the pride owner at Space Auto Center.
Hey guys, what's happening? Really excited to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Great. So today the goal is for you guys. I know we usually talk about real estate, but today we're going to talk about cars, dealership, loan, and things like that nature. So we want to learn everything about it, and it's only great to have it with the specialist.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, before we start, what makes you start the business in the car industry? What make you start?
Oh, well, I've been in the car business for 22 years now. And so I got out of it straight out of college, got into the business and just working through the business, climbing the proverbial corporate ladder at the franchise dealerships and just wanted to do it for myself, putting in those long hours. Once you become in a management position at the dealership, you're there from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and then right back the next morning, for 1.5% of the bottom line. So I was like, well, shoot, if I'm going to do all this work, let me do it for myself.
Exactly.
Exactly. And so then that's when I, went on that leap of faith and made it happen.
So in your dealership, when somebody comes, you take care of everything, right? You take care of the loan,
yes,
car.
Yes. We do it from A to Z. So our structure is a little different where we put you with one person and they take you from A to Z. They're the salesperson, the finance person. They deliver the vehicle. We do it all. So we sell the cars, we finance you the cars. If you have your own lending, you can bring that as well, but we get you set up for financing also. Is
it just like houses? Is it better to work with your dealership versus to come with a bank lender, or what's the difference?
It's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. If you have your own financing set up, it will allow you to have some power, so to speak. I'm already approved. Yeah. You know what you qualify for. Okay. So that's always good. There's nothing wrong with that. But we can get anybody approved as well.
Okay.
So typically when y'all start, do y'all do the financing part first to make sure that the client is pre-qualified to look at a specific car, or do you allow them to choose the car first and then finance?
So it's a little different. Each scenario is different, right? So you'll have the clients that want to come in and look at cars, and that's fine. We definitely go look and pick out a vehicle, and then we'll see, put in an application, because you don't want to necessarily put the cart before the horse, right? You want to find the car that's right for you. And then, that car might not be right for your financial situation. You might be making $2,500 a month and you're trying to buy that $50,000 Benz. It is not happening, right? So then we get the application and it's okay, well, this is what we can qualify you for. And then, but a lot of the times, our customers, they'll do the applications online. It's kind of a pre-qualification situation. And so then we can land them on the right car, the one that's right for them.
Gotcha.
And how do you qualify for a car in general?
It's just a loan. You put the application in. You got to have the ability, stability, and willingness to pay.
Okay.
And then, we go from there. They pull the credit, We look at your job time, your residence history, your disposable income, to determine what you can actually qualify for.
How low of a credit you can qualify for a car?
So, there's lenders out there for everybody, right?
Really?
Yeah. What is the minimum credit score? 250?
620.
No. The bureau.
Oh,
like
the bureau?
Yeah, 250 to 850, right? Yeah, so you're not
people qualified at 250?
I've never seen a 250.
Okay.
But I have seen I have seen 390s and 420s.
And they qualify.
Yeah, you can still get.
But they must have a crazy interest rate, huh?
It's gonna be state max. know, whatever the year of the car is at that credit rate, it's going to be state max, and you're going to get you're going to need a good down payment. You know, like 15 to 25% of the car, maybe even 30% of the vehicle, and and we can get you rolling in the car. So I mean, it's not going to be the last car that you get. It's going to be a reorganization, so to speak.
Okay.
You know, get yourself right, get yourself going. It's an A to B car, not, you know, the luxury thing.
Could someone who had a repossession before can still able to qualify for a car?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. So when you have like that, you see that 390 score.
Yeah.
Something happened in their credit, right? Foreclosure, repossession, bankruptcy, whatever, right? Medical bills. Yes, you can still get a vehicle after a repossession.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Okay.
So when somebody's qualifying for a car, is there a time period that they have to be on their job? Like, just say I just graduated college and I'm coming out. I've been on my job 2 months. Can I walk into your dealership and get qualified based off of that work history?
Definitely. So different lenders will have different criteria, right? So some of them will want 3 months job, 6 months job, a year job, but some of them will do the first time buyer with a month job. You know, you just have to have that first paycheck stub, and we can definitely get you rolling into an automobile like that. So I would recommend the longer stability you have, you'll get more favorable loan situations.
Got you.
But it's not a hindrance from getting into a vehicle with a short-term job. Especially, so since you were talking about somebody straight out of college, right? So they definitely have those first-time buyer programs. But then you have other instances where people have been working for, say, 3, 5, 10 years, and they have a new job that's 1 month or 2 months. And that's still not an issue because you have the previous work history. Yeah.
Okay. And then how does it happen when you're a parent now? You have a 16-year-old kiddo trying to have a car. Is it specific type of loan for them? Or
16 can't go on the loan. So the parents just buying the vehicle for the son or the daughter.
But they even cannot add them as a co-borrower?
Not at 16.
You have to be 18.
At 18, yeah.
Okay.
But not at 16. Can't touch the paper.
Okay. Okay, and probably if it's for them, the insurance must be high too, huh?
Yeah.
I heard that the insurance were very high, up to 25 for boys, right? 25 years old.
Yeah,
you pay more insurance than girls.
Really?
The insurance tend to be higher on the boy versus girls because you guys are dangerous.
Yeah, it's how they rate. It's how they rate the sexes, so to speak. And so males are.
I never knew
You didn't
that.
know?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, newsflash: you have twins, right? One will have a cheaper.
I told them they're going to
And the
share
other
a
one.
car.
Right.
They're going to share a car.
But just know the insurance will be very high.
That weighted insurance, right? But you know, there's always ways to get around that. Take driver's education; that'll help lower
Okay.
the insurance bill. You know, obviously they're not going to be, the policy's not going to be in their name. There'll just be a listed drivers, but then you get like multiple discounts. But yeah, it is not an inexpensive part of purchasing a vehicle when you have a teenage driver. But then the insurance company is also taking the fact if they're good students in school.
Oh, they look at that too?
Yeah. I mean, they rate, it's a risk. Insurance is a risk analysis, right? So somebody that's making it straight A's versus somebody that's just barely getting by with C's and D's is probably a little bit more responsible.
So you literally have to send your kids' progress report and school stuff to the insurance company?
If you're trying to get a discounted rate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm all in on that.
I will. I learned something I didn't know. I didn't know it could be like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Now you know what to do. You have a few more years in front of you, huh?
And look, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
And as for down payment, so of course, I'm sure the higher the down payment, the better it is. But is it always good to have a down payment when you purchase a home, or you?
Or when you purchase a car?
Purchase a car.
Sure, no, I'm with it. You know, it's gonna be deal specific, right? So if you're a 750, 800 credit score and you're getting a low interest rate, right? Then you don't necessarily need to bring that much money to the table, right? Because then it's, you know, what can I do with that money versus putting it into a depreciating asset, which is a car. It's going to be worth less tomorrow than it is today, especially when you put miles on it. But then it's also about what your budget is for your monthly payment, right? Because you can put money down to get to a monthly payment that is into your budget, you know. Every $1,000 rule of thumb is like $20 to $25 a month, right? So then if you have a high interest rate, I would definitely recommend you bringing more money to the table because that's putting the cost of the car at a 0% rate, versus the 18% or the 20% or whatever it is you're getting, you know? Yeah. So my recommendation to anybody is to always at minimum put down their tax title and license, right?
Okay.
Because that's not even for your car. That's for Harris County tax assessor, collector, Fort Bend, whatever county you live in.
Instead of being 100% finance.
Right, instead of financing, yeah. So put that down at minimum, and then instead of financing the TT&L, and then if you have, you know, everybody's financial situation is different. If you have additional funds, depending on what the structure of your deal is, then you would put money down according to that.
So when somebody's financing a car with y'all, as far as the years that they're financing for, that's something that the actual client can pick, or is it based off of their credit profile, what goes with, you know, what their amortization is going to be?
We're talking about term of the loan, like 4
like
years, 5 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything is negotiable, right? But you have to be able to afford it. So we'll submit a deal. Let's say it's a $30,000 car. We'll submit it for 60 months or 72 months, right, to get the customer a low payment. If the customer says, well, you know, I don't want to finance it that long, I want to finance it for 3 years or 4 years, then that's definitely an option as long as they have the income available to substantiate that monthly payment. And then, but, you know, unfortunately in today's age, people want the lowest possible car note, right? Yeah. But that's not always the best thing, right? Because you're financing it forever and taking longer to pay it off. And if you can, I would, you know, finance it for a shorter term if the money is available.
So the lowest is 3 years that you can finance a car?
Depends on how expensive the vehicle is, but I want to say 2 years.
2 years.
But actually, I have seen somewhere there a year. If it's like, you know, a $5,000 loan or something like that, you know,
So
you can.
depending
Yeah.
And the maximum 7?
7 is what, 84 months?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because 72 is 6. Yeah, you know, I might have seen some that are 8, but those are like on like $100,000 vehicles. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Question.
6 years is the max I would finance. Not to cut you off, but 6 years is the max I would ever finance a vehicle. I'm in the car business, so.
You need to come back and get a new one. Yeah. I'm sure you see a lot of that. The people, their loan just finished and just come and trade it in and get a new one. Some people don't never really get off of that car payment.
Yeah.
It's very rare. Yeah. But anyway, question. Is it better to lease or to buy?
Well, see, that's going to really depend on your driving habits and what do you like. If you're a new car man or girl and you want a new whip every 2 to 3 years, lease. Lease, right?
Because the newest and latest thing.
Yeah. Leasing, that's always a good option. And you can tailor make your contract for your driving habits. You know, they do 10,000 miles a year, 12,000, 15,000, 18,000. The more miles you have, your residual value will be less. The less miles you have, your residual value will be higher, which means you're only paying for a portion of the car. So if you do less miles, you'll have an even lower payment. But you know, if you're somebody that keeps your cars, then I definitely do buy. Or if you're somebody that puts a whole lot of miles on cars, yes, I would buy all day long.
I made the mistake of leasing.
Yeah.
A few years ago, we got a lease, and I realized fairly quickly this is not working for me because I put a lot of miles in my car as a realtor, and I was like, this is the dumbest, sorry to say that, but the dumbest decision I made. I learned my lesson. Yeah. But thanks to the pandemic, the price of car were crazy high. Yeah. And then when it was time for me to turn in the car, I was almost upside down where I almost hit up my maximum, the miles they gave me on the car.
Sure.
But the value of the car went up so much. So when I went and turned in the leasing, I won. I wasn't upside down, you know? Yeah. But that was because of the pandemic.
But you traded your car, right? You didn't turn the lease in, you traded it.
Yeah, I traded it because it was almost coming to the end, and I traded it and I get another car. But thanks God to the pandemic because that helped. But if it was a regular situation, I would have been upside down.
You would have.
How come the price of the car went up so much during the pandemic?
It was before we go to that though, to touch on leasing though. You have an option in the lease because, like, you were able to trade your car in versus turning it in. So there are some upsides to it.
I didn't know. What are the options?
Well, so like you did, you didn't have to turn your car in. Normally, you lease a car for 24 or 36 months and you just turn it in and you're done, right? And if you're over the miles, you write them a check if you're under the miles, you don't get anything. Or you can trade it in like you did, right, to get another vehicle, and then you have that residual value, which is your payoff balance, and you can either be upside down or have some equity.
Yeah.
So this is an option you have with the lease, that in a purchase you can only trade it in. So there are some upsides, but
No, I need another car because I added another baby, so I need a car that can take 4 kids in the back. The one that I have can only do 3.
yeah.
So I was like, I didn't really have a choice for a few months. My husband and I, we have to drive 2 separate cars because we have 4 kids.
Yeah.
So one will have 1 kid, the other one has 3. So I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You need a bigger vehicle.
I need a bigger car.
No doubt.
So
3 rows.
3 rows. What was the other question though?
So the question is, why the price of the car?
The pandemic, yeah.
What happened?
It was just a simple supply demand. Like, if you remember, the whole world shut down, right? And so nobody was making cars. You couldn't get anything shipped over from overseas. Like, I think the Japanese cars, like you drive by a Honda or Toyota dealership and it was just like 10 cars on the whole lot. Even Ford and Chevy dealerships, it was like 10 cars on the whole lot. There's just, the factories had to shut down. Nobody could go to work. And so supply meets demand, so the prices go up. There's
Just like the houses.
Yeah, it's five cars and 150 people want them.
Yeah.
Who gonna pay for it?
Big
Yeah.
and best off.
So now the question: how's the price of cars now?
It's coming down some. On the more expensive vehicles, especially, you can get a deal. Supply has come back to pre-pandemic levels. Dealerships may not be stocking as much, but they're stocking exactly what they need. So on newer cars, you can definitely get some deals. On the less expensive end of the spectrum, though, prices are still high on those.
Okay,
So
so
that's just inflation, and people those cars are still in higher demand because of interest rates as well. Because people live on monthly budgets. Nobody's really. I mean, people do come in and buy cars cash, but majority of the world is financing a vehicle, right?
Exactly.
And so the less expensive cars are still in high demand, and that's going to keep those prices, up.
okay, so you work in a car industry. What are the best car?
The best vehicle, we're talking about reliable transportation, or what are we talking about? Best is,
Okay, so
subjective.
I'm gonna ask you different objections. First time we have first time home buyer, first time car buyer. What would be the best time? Younger person, drive a little bit. What would be a best car for them? Or young kids and the parents needs to buy for them.
Sure, perfect. All right, so yeah, I like the Honda Civics, the Toyota Corollas.
It's reliable.
Yeah, Nissan Sentras. I love those Japanese vehicles. They just will last, and you could drive them into the dirt, and they will keep going for you. I love those cars, especially if I'm putting my daughter out in the street and something like that. I'm gonna feel confident and safe that she's gonna be okay in that vehicle.
Okay.
In those vehicles, they with any car, as long as you take care of it, it'll take care of yourself,
Okay.
you. Regular oil changes, all the suggested manufacturer maintenance. If you do that, then the car will be fine. But those Japanese, they knock them out the park. They know what they're doing.
You know what they
So
do.
Japanese for the kiddos.
Yes.
Japanese.
And then as for young professional, you want something a little bit more luxurious. You're single and you're ready to mingle and you're ready to show up that you got your degree.
They got that bank.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
where you're
Balling
an
on a
engineer, you're
budget.
balling. But you still want to be on the budget, but you want something that is nice. So which type of car?
That's just gonna be preference, because then you're dealing with a bunch of nice vehicles. I like Cadillac, I like Lincoln, I like BMW, I like Audi. And all these people, all these manufacturers, they make middle of the road luxury cars too. Of course they have the high end flagships, but then they have the middle of the road luxury too. Lexus, Acura. Yeah. It's really, when you get there, it's just about what your preference is, and what you like. And I have all of them, so
I'm sure you do. And what about this scenario from family cars? What are the best? I saw a lot of.
We talking full size sedan family or family like yours?
Yeah.
With 3 rows of seats.
3 rows of seat. Like
Yeah.
I saw the Sequoia, I saw the Denali, and I saw the
Sure.
those van.
Sure.
I
So
don't like them.
So, you know, I just gave a lot of love on first-time buyer cars to the Japanese, but I'll tell you the market where America stands strong, the Ford, the GM product, the Dodge product, are in those SUVs, those family
size car.
SUVs and trucks.
And the
Like-
American cars are pretty good compared to the Japanese.
Yeah, they build them right.
Okay,
They-
for
I-
families.
I'm telling you, hands down.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
no doubt.
So it's not always Japanese all the
not
way.
always, yeah.
Okay, so
Like-
Japanese is good for the first timers.
For those cars, those small economic cars,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
they're Japanese.
on
They
gas.
knock them. And I mean, Japanese builds Sequoias and Forerunners and Armadas. Those are good vehicles too. But you can get more bang for your buck out of the domestic ones and get the same longevity
Okay.
on those.
Okay.
Okay.
Real talk.
Well, thank you. It's good because I have the conception, and I heard that American car not that great. It's always go Japanese.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
No, that's not
Okay.
the case. We've made a lot of strides over the years.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So when you purchase a car, I come to your business, I purchase a car, right? Leave the establishment with the car. What is the time period that I have if I decide that I don't want the car anymore? Do I have one, or what's the option?
So here's the curb, right? As soon as you cross over that curb, that car is yours.
Okay.
But no, I
Never
mean,
return it.
there's no return policy on cars. I mean, it's as is. So you know you need to make sure you test drive a car prior to purchasing it. Make sure you read over your contract prior to signing, because you've signed a legally binding contract. So you need to make sure that this is the car that you want to get before you do all that. Now, some dealerships will have, you know, a return policy, 2-day, 3-day, you know, 1 week, especially like if they're shipping the car to you
Okay.
or something like that. But it's total up to their discretion. There's no like, you know, anything in any law where I have to be able to take a car back. It's not, you're not shopping at Walmart, you know,
Yeah.
or shoot even Dillard's or whatever that has, you know, a return policy. So.
Okay.
Maintenance tips. What do you see a lot? Because you see a lot of also used cars. So
Sure.
what's some of the oftentimes you see in used car that people need to be aware and pay attention to it? And maybe it can hurt the value when you're trying to turn in the car to the dealership.
Sure. So, you know, we have, especially here in Houston, we have really bad roads. So I check your suspension, you know, ball joints, control arms, things like that. Regular maintenance, you know, every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, depending on what type of car you have. Do your oil changes. All the suggested manufacturer stuff, like coolant flushes, transmission flushes, timing belts and chains, depending on how many miles you have on your car. Just do all that stuff. Whatever the manufacturer gives you a book when this car is brand new, what needs to happen to it at 15,000, 30,000, 50,000, 150, so forth. And if you're buying it pre-owned, you can still get that information on the internet, or hopefully the dealer has the book with them. And just, you know, take care of your car, you know. It's a machine, a machine mass-produced product. So, yeah, you got to maintain it, and it'll be fine as long as you take care of it.
Okay. At your dealership, you also have the body shop section.
Not the body shop. We have the service, though.
The service?
We do the service. We haven't gone to the body shop yet. That's next on the list. But yeah, we have
good
full.
job.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. We have full service department.
Okay.
So I mean, things as simple as oil changes to changing out a transmission or engine.
Okay.
So yeah, whatever needs to be done.
So let's talk about investment type of car. You know, sometimes I see on the road, like some people, they have nice car, but you can tell they did a bunch of stuff on it. Did that really increase the value of their car when they change all the color and add all this stuff on it? Like, so you know, some people, the wheel has these things sticking out on the outside, or you see those
those
trucks.
elbows.
Yeah, and you see those big. You have a regular truck, but they put a big truck
Yeah.
into the truck, and the car is like.
So I mean, all that stuff costs money. So it doesn't necessarily.
Is it worth it
increase
when
the
somebody
value.
bring you that and say, I want to trade in my car?
It depends on what the customization is.
Okay.
You know, so like the lifted truck, that lifted truck's gonna be worth a little bit more than a regular truck that's not lifted. Don't lift a 2-wheel drive truck though. Like a 4-wheel drive lifted truck is gonna but you lift a 2-wheel drive truck, you're just wasting your money. You know, those elbows, most of those guys take their rims with them and put some factory back on because they want to reuse their rims for the
And
next.
these things are very
next car.
expensive?
Very, very expensive. But there are customizations that you could do that would hurt the value of your car. Like certain paint jobs. Painting the candy pink or something like that. That's gonna hurt the value of your car. But it's all customized because it's for you. Somebody might like it, but if you bring it into me, it's gonna be worth less.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you do an evaluation like that, like to the T.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And everybody does. Everybody's gonna evaluate the car. It's the market, really. Like we'll look at it and say, well, can we sell this car? And if what you've done to it adds value, then yes, you'll get more money for it. If what you've done to it has at least lessen the value, then you'll get less money for it. Same way as if you bring the car in tip-top mechanical condition and it's clean, right? It's gonna be worth more than if you bring it in on E, trash in the interior. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Check engine light on. It's gonna be worth less as well.
Is there like a underground market or a trading market where people go and just trade cars and a lot going on?
Underground market? I don't know about an underground market.
Because sometimes on Westheimer, I'll see a lot of young kids getting together and then...
Are they racing cars?
I'm not sure. I just
They
see a
have a
bunch
lot
of fancy car.
They have a lot
nice
of car
paint.
clubs. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely there's a lot of car clubs, yes. So they're not
Okay.
necessarily trading them, but, they're showing their cars off to one another, asking them what they've done under the hood. Because you have a lot of car enthusiasts.
Do they make money by doing all that and showing the car and all? It's just
Well, sometimes they race them, and then, they'll make money. But most of the time it's a hobby. So it's
Okay.
not like they're making money by doing stuff to the cars. It's just this is what they like to put their money into.
Unless it's like a car show or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charging people to come look at the car.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or they sell them at auctions too. They have like auctions for like high-end vehicles or classic cars or things like that. That when you refurbish your vehicle, you can definitely get some good money off it.
But talking about auction, what do you think about those people that go and buy those cars at auction? I guess you need to have a specific license to buy that,
Right.
and then they fix it and resell it to you. What if I have to buy a car from somebody who sell it to me like that? What some of them think I need to pay attention and look for before purchasing the car from that person?
Okay, so every dealer, that's where we get our cars from, the auction.
Okay.
So our dealers, maybe that's what you're referring to on the underground market, but we have wholesale auctions.
Okay.
Dealers get their cars. So the way we get our cars are from people that trade them in or turn them in, repossessions, and then the wholesale dealer auctions. And so whenever you're buying a pre-owned vehicle, you just want to make sure that it's a quality car that has been checked out. I mean, if you want to look for things, you check the oil, you check the transmission fluid, you test drive it. You don't test drive it with the radio on, you test drive it with the windows down, the radio off, so you can hear the vehicle and see, what's going on with it. And then if you want, bring a mechanic by and have them check it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I've seen a lot of young people coming here and they go to these auction places and they buy the car and then send them overseas to Africa and then try to resell it over there. So I was just wondering if I have to buy a car like that from somebody like that. I just want to make sure I have a checklist of things I need to look into. But every car has a history, right? You can see.
You can pull the Carfax on it, the auto check. Now, everything's not reported to those reports, right?
Okay.
Because if say you got in a car accident and you fixed it yourself with Joe Blow Body Shop, that he probably doesn't report. And if the police didn't come, then that's not even going to make it on the Carfax report, right? But if you took it to Sterling McCall to have them fix it, they're going to report that it was, fixed. So it just all depends. Not everything always makes the history reports. So those are not the Bible.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your advice. We learned a lot today. Hopefully you guys too. So Gerard, where people can reach out to you if they need?
If you need my assistance and you're looking for automobile for service needs or for purchase needs, you can come find us at Space City Auto Center. We're located at 13722 Almeda Road in Houston, Texas, 77053. You can see us online at spacecityac.com. We're on all social media platforms at Space City AC1. And the telephone number is 713-434-7722. So tell them that you saw Space City J on the podcast today, and we'll hook you up.
Nice. Here we go. Make sure to say it. So if you don't say anything, you won't get anything, okay?
Facts.
All right. Thank you so much for watching us. Make sure to give us your comment. Tell us what you think. Have you ever bought a car at a dealership? Do you have any question? What do you like about your car? Is that true? What do you say about those Japanese car? What do you think? Or American car is that great? So just let us know what you think. We want to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching us. We'll see you next time.